You think you understand money. You don't. You know how to count it. You know how to earn it. You know the small relief when the balance ticks up, and the tightening in your gut when it ticks down. But knowing the feeling of money is not the same as understanding it. Just as knowing pain is not the same as understanding the body. A man can feel every ache and still have no idea what is killing him. Look around you. There are people who earn six figures and stay broke in the rawest sense one missed month and their entire life collapses. And there are people who earn a fraction of that and walk free. Free in the sense that they could stop at any moment without fear. The gap between these two kinds of people is not income. If it were income, the one earning more would win. But they lose. They lose over and over. And they lose while convinced they're winning, which is the cruelest way to lose there is. The gap is one thing they were never taught to see cash flow. Your bank balance is a snapshot. It shows you a single frozen moment how much you have right now. It says nothing about tomorrow. It says nothing about whether you're climbing or sinking. It is a dead frame pulled out of a moving film. And you've been trying to guess the ending by staring at one still image. Cash flow is the whole story. It tells you where the money is running, how fast, and what ending is waiting for you at the end of the road. You've spent your whole life staring at the snapshot and thinking you were reading the story. That's why you're here, reading these lines. Somewhere, quietly, you already suspect it. Money isn't a number, it's a direction. Before we build anything, the old belief has to die. And your old belief is, this money is a pile. You picture it as a stack. High or low, how much is sitting still in the account, how much is sitting in your wallet. You measure wealth by the height of that stack. When the stack is tall, you feel safe. When it's short, you feel afraid. Your entire sense of security rises and falls with a number that tells you almost nothing. This is a fatal mistake. And it's fatal because it makes you misread the entire nature of the thing in your hands. Money is not a pile. Money is a current. A pile of money only tells you the past. It's the result of what already happened, the residue of old decisions. But a current tells you the future. It decides whether tomorrow's pile will be higher or lower than today's. The person who watches only the pile is the person who drives forward while staring into the rearview mirror. He sees clearly where he has been and nothing of where he is going. And then he is surprised by the wall. A millionaire with negative cash flow is dying slowly, but surely every month more money leaves his hands than enters them. His pile is tall, so tall it blinds him to the truth that it is sinking every single day. He sleeps on a mountain of wealth that is melting beneath him, and he smiles because the mountain is still tall. He buys, he upgrades. He tells himself the numbers are fine because there is still so much left. By the time it sinks to the floor, it is far too late to understand what happened. The mountain didn't vanish in a day. It leaked away in 1,000 small transactions he never bothered to count. An average earner with positive cash flow is getting richer. Every day, his pile is short, so short that no one notices it, including himself. But it rises, steadily, quietly, with no one clapping. Time is on his side. Time is the enemy of the other man. This is the reversal. Nobody warned you about the same clock that drains one wallet fills the other. And the only thing that decides which wallet you own is the direction of your flow. Here's the image to burn into your mind. A full lake with a cracked floor runs dry. A small spring that never stops flowing never does. The height of the water at any one moment tells you nothing. What decides fate is the flow is water coming in faster than it's going out. You can stand at the edge of a vast lake and feel rich, and be wrong. You can stand at a thin spring and feel poor, and be wrong there too. The eye measures height. Only the honest man measures flow. So the question you've asked your whole life, how much do I have, was never the right question. It's the question of a man staring at a photograph, the right question. The only one worth asking is this: which way is my money flowing into my pocket or out of it? Answer that, and you know whether you're living or dying. Fail to answer it, and you don't really know anything about your own money at all. Earning more won't save you. Here's the biggest lie you were taught: just earn more, and it'll all be fine. Get the raise. Get the promotion. Add another stream. Then you'll escape. You won't escape, and I'll show you every trap one by one, with no sugar on it. The first trap, lifestyle inflation. Your income climbs, but your desire climbs faster. Your salary doubles. And somehow, at the end of the month, your hands are as empty as before, except now you're empty in a more expensive apartment, holding a newer phone. Your net cash flow still sits at zero. You ran harder, breathed heavier, and moved nowhere. It's a treadmill. You think you're advancing because you're tired, because you're sweating, because you're running, but the scenery never changes. You're in the exact same place, only more exhausted. And the cruelty of it is that the treadmill speeds up on its own. Every raise raises the floor beneath you. So escaping tomorrow costs more than escaping today. Wait long enough and escape becomes impossible. Not because you earn too little, but because you spend exactly as much as you make forever. The second trap, liabilities dressed as assets. The car, the house, the watch. They make you look rich, and you mistake that appearance for real wealth. But listen closely, they don't make you rich, they eat you every month. Every month, they pull a sum out of your pocket payments. Insurance, maintenance, fuel, fees. Here's the line that divides the entire game. And most people live their whole lives without ever seeing it. An asset puts money in your pocket, a liability pulls it out. That's it. There is nothing more complicated than that. The car you're proud of isn't an asset just because it cost a lot. It's a liability because every month it takes more from you than it gives. The size of the price tag tells you nothing about which side of the line it sits on. You don't own it. It owns you, and it collects its rent on time, every time, whether you had a good month or not. The third trap, consumer debt. Every time you pay interest, your cash flow is feeding someone else's cash flow. Look straight at that fact. You do the work, wake at 6, endure the boss. Sell the best hours of your day. Then a slice of the money you traded those hours for runs straight into the lender's pocket, and they do nothing. They sit still, and they collect. You till, they harvest. That is the entire arrangement. Stripped of its paperwork, every interest payment is a rope tying you to the desk, and you pull it tighter yourself every time you swipe the card. The lender built a spring that flows from your labor to his account, and you built it for him, and you thank him for the privilege. The fourth trap, high income, hollow foundation. This is the most insidious trap of all, because it disguises itself as success. The man who earns a great deal but has nothing quietly flowing in, no asset making money while he sleeps, no dollar multiplying while he looks away. The whole machine runs on his own two hands. 1 month of stopping sickness, a lost job, burnout, and it all collapses. Not because he earned little, but because while he wasn't looking, nothing was flowing in. A towering skyscraper built on sand. From a distance, it's magnificent. It only takes one gust of wind to reveal it was hollow inside. And here is the part he never admits: he isn't the owner of a fortune. He is the single load-bearing beam holding up a structure that has no other support. Remove him for 30 days and the whole thing comes down. Look at all 4 traps together, and you'll see they share one thing: they are all problems of direction, not speed. Every one of them is a man running hard toward the wrong place. And this is what you need to carve into yourself. Income is speed. Cash flow is direction. Run fast in the wrong direction, and you only reach the wrong place sooner. The man who earns a lot but points it wrong isn't winning slowly, he's losing fast. The gas pedal doesn't save the man plunging off a cliff. It only brings the fall on sooner. More speed in the wrong direction is not progress. It is acceleration toward the crash. Follow the dollar. It tells you everything. Now dissect cash flow itself. Pry it open. Look inside. Stop treating money as a blur of numbers and look at a single dollar as it moves through your hands. Every dollar that lands in your hands does one of two things, and only two, there is no third. Either it leaves and never comes back, you spent it, or it leaves and comes back with friends, you invested it into something that pays you. There are only two fates. Read it again until it sinks in, gone forever, or gone and returning larger. There is no option in the middle. There is no saving that isn't one of these two. Money that sits idle isn't a third path. It's a slow version of the first, quietly eaten by time. Every dollar you hold stands before those two doors, and you alone decide which one it walks through. The poor man's dollar dies on arrival. Money in, money out. Nothing left behind. It shows up on payday and vanishes before the next one. And across that short journey, it never produces a single child. It lives a meaningless life and dies without a trace. The next month, another dollar arrives, lives the exact same life, and dies the exact same way, on, year after year. A graveyard of dollars that died young, and the man who buried them all wonders why. After 20 years of earning, he has nothing to show, never once suspecting that he was running a cemetery. The wealthy man's dollar is sent to work. Every dollar walks out the door with an assignment: go bring back more. It returns with a few of its friends. And the whole lot is sent out again. The same dollar, but instead of dying, it multiplies. It isn't a spender, it's a recruiter. And the recruits recruit. What begins as $1 becomes a lineage, generation after generation, each one bringing back more than it left. With the wealthy man doesn't work harder than you. He simply raises his dollars to survive instead of raising them to die. Here's the image you'll never unsee. A poor man's dollar is a soldier who deserts, sent into battle and gone, never to return. A rich man's dollar is a soldier who returns with an army. Same bill, opposite fates. And what decides that fate is not the bill. Every bill is identical. Every dollar the same paper and ink. What decides it is where you point it. The dollar has no destiny of its own. You are its destiny. You want to know which kind of soldier you're raising. There's one way, and only one. Trace your own money for exactly 1 month. Write down where each dollar came from and where it went. Follow it to the end of its journey, not just out the door, but all the way to whether it ever came back. You will see undeniably, with no room to lie to yourself, whether you're raising deserters or soldiers who come home. Most people have never once, not a single time, followed a dollar to the end of its road. They know money comes in. They vaguely know money goes out. But the middle where everything is decided is a dark zone they've never shown a light into. And that is exactly why they never see the leak. You can't patch a hole you can't see. You can't see a hole you refuse to go looking for. The leak isn't hiding from you. You are hiding from it. The formula for owning your flow: enough with seeing through it. Now the doing, there's no line of inspiration here, only instructions. Follow them or don't. But don't pretend you didn't know how. Step 1, measure. Track every dollar in, every dollar out. Know your monthly net, the difference between what flows in and what flows out. There's no romantic step here, just bookkeeping. This is the raw truth: what you don't measure. You don't control, it controls you. You are being ruled by a number you've never once dared to look in the face. Most people fear looking at that number more than they fear being broke, because the number doesn't lie, and they've grown comfortable living inside a lie of their own making. Look at it. It will be ugly the first time. Look at it anyway. It's the only place to start, and every month you delay is a month the leak runs unwatched. Step 2, seal the leaks. Cut liabilities. Kill high interest debt, no negotiating. No later. Kill it first. Freeze lifestyle inflation before it can swallow your next raise. This is where most people fail, because sealing the leaks demands they refuse things they've told themselves they deserve. But cash flow doesn't care what you deserve. It only knows addition and subtraction. Every leak you don't seal is a crack in the floor of the lake. And no amount of water poured in will save a lake with a cracked floor. Fix the floor first. Always fix the floor first. It is unglamorous, invisible work. No one applauds a sealed leak, but it is the difference between everything you build holding and everything you build draining away in the dark. Step 3, build the springs. Create and reinvest into assets that generate cash flow dividends. Rentals, systems, royalties, anything that puts money in your pocket while you're not there. This is where you stop working for money and start making money work for you. Every dollar you reinvest is a soldier you send out to recruit more. At first, the army is tiny enough to discourage you a few dollars a month, laughably small against your salary. But it grows exponentially, while your salary grows in a straight line. And exponential curves always, eventually, humiliate straight ones. Given enough time, the army will overtake your own two hands. And that day is the day everything changes, the day your money starts outworking you. Step 4, mark the finish line. Here is the destination, and it's specific. Not vague when your passive cash flow covers your cost of living. You stop working for money. That's it. Not when you have $1 million in the account, that number is still just a snapshot. And a snapshot can be spent to zero, but when the springs you built flow harder than all the leaks combined, month after month, without your hands touching them. That is the only definition of free that means anything. Every other definition, more money, nicer things. A flashier title is just a prettier version of a prison. Freedom is not a pile you sit on. It is a flow that no longer needs you. The mindset that separates them from you. Building the machine is one thing, but the machine rusts if the person running it still thinks the old way. So strip it down to the shifts that actually matter, only a few. But each one is a line drawn in the ground. And crossing it changes how you see every dollar for the rest of your life. Stop asking, what does this cost? Start asking, does this feed my cash flow? Or bleed it. The poor man asks the cost because he sees every item as a single moment of exchange, lose money, get thing. The rich man asks the direction because he sees every item as a decision about flow. Does this one pump water into the lake? Or drill another hole in the floor? The same wallet opens, but two entirely different questions. And two entirely different lives grow out of them. Change the question and you change the man. Money isn't meant to be hoarded. It's meant to be aimed. A pile of money sitting still is a sleeping army as useless as if it didn't exist. And worse, being ground down by inflation every day, it lies there. Money only has value in motion when it's aimed at a target and fired. The hoarder thinks he's safe because the pile is tall, but a pile that doesn't flow is just a stagnant lake, and a stagnant lake rots. Safety was never in stillness. It was always in the strength and direction of the current. Wealth was never the size of the pile. It's the direction of the flow. This is the line you carry. You can have a small pile and be rich because it's rising. You can have a colossal pile and be poor because it's draining. Size deceives. Direction doesn't. Learn to read direction instead of size, and you will start to see everywhere around you which of the rich are actually rich and which are just tall piles a few bad months from collapse. The line that stays, return to the verdict from the opening, now carrying a different weight. You thought you understood money. Now you know you didn't. Understanding money was never about earning more. The one who earns the most is not the one who is most free. You've seen that now. Seen the towers built on sand. Seen the mountains melting under men who smiled. Understanding money is knowing how money moves in or out, dying or multiplying, deserting or returning with the army and then pointing it, deliberately, coldly, precisely, at yourself. Not at the lender, not at the car that's eating you alive, not at the desire that runs faster than your paycheck. at yourself every day, every dollar until the flow runs your way by habit, not by effort. That's the whole game. It was always that game. And now you no longer have the excuse of not knowing to hide behind. What you do from here is a choice, and the choice is yours alone. And the ledger will record it whether you look or not. Your balance tells you what you have. Your cash flow tells you who you're becoming.